So right now, Adin is completely dominating the rankings, being just much better than Tori for all of Trials, but this video is going to go over what to do if you don't have her, which is honestly largely the same, just using a different DPS. But we can go over everything again real quick. So for the healer slots, you've got Elena, you've got Roanna, and Doris, I would say are the main three. Elena's the best one because of her attack imprint, and Doris is probably the second best just because she fulfills the light requirement, and that lets you do things like swap your stripper off of light element. So you could do things like, I'm not gonna cover all of them, but you could go back to the Nhakwol Stats team and have Doris in the front instead. And Stats also gives everybody an attack imprint. And besides Stats, as well as Nhakwol, there's also Carrot. You could put in Carrot, there's Cowrick, there's a lot of them. Ida, yeah, you can just use whatever you have. You don't even need the attack percent imprint if you're not gunning for top 100. And then let's put Elena and FLidica back where they are. So then for light strippers, there's of course Faithless FLidica, who I'll be using because she's got an attack percent imprint as well. And besides that, I think Wanderer Silk is pretty good, honestly, because she can give speed buff to your other two units. No attack percent imprint, but it does make your tuning a bit easier to get 10 hits in the break phase. And honestly, if you're not using Faithless FLidica and your Elena's not like SSS, just use Doris in the front and use Stats or Kara in the slot. And then for the DPS, besides Tori, I'd say the second best is probably MLK Run. Just because MLK Run has a pretty good multiplier on his S1, which should get you through at least the first two phases. I'm not sure if you'll have the damage to break the third one, but first two phases is more than enough for top 5%. And also he'll fulfill the light requirement. So let's go over everyone's stats now. Elena, these are just the same stats as usual. It's just super fast with 100% crit chance, and her bulk is a little bit low if anything, but she survives fine anyways, so it's not a problem. Now there's Nhakwol. Nhakwol, oops, I have to re-gear her. So Nhakwol, I have her on Bloodstone. You could also opt to give her Renewed Will. And then her boots, she needs a bit of crit chance. She needs a lot of crit chance. I think she was using this one. Yeah, that sounds about right. So Nhakwol also just speed DPS. You want her pretty fast to help you get 10 stacks in the break phase, but since I min-max for damage, I have her a little bit faster than she needs to be, because you could just hit the add more times and you would get the CR push and it would be okay. So then next up is Faithless FLidica, who I have on Renewed Will. Between Nhakwol and FLidica, one of them wants Bloodstone, the other wants Renewed Will. You can decide which one you'd rather have on which. Same stats pretty much, it's just fast with DPS stats. And then there's Tori, who's just full damage, destruction crit sets with Cruel Mischief as the artifact. And then if you're using MLK Run, the exact same thing, except with MLK Run you could drop the 85 crit chance since you would have elemental advantage. But now we can take a look at the run. So the start of the fight's going to play out the exact same. I guess I had my Elena skills on for something. You can just turn it off now, it doesn't really affect anything. We're just waiting out the fight until you get to the first break phase. And with Tori, you are going to still have the same issue that we had last time, where you need to make sure that you're not moving too fast, and your Tori is actually able to get a turn at the barrier phase to break the barrier before Harsetti uses her S3 again. So hopefully that doesn't happen, because I was not tuned for Tori, I was tuned for Adin, and we'll see if it does. So here the barrier phase starts. This looks about the same as last time, so hopefully it's not an issue. The first turn's just a waste because we haven't stripped anything yet. So now we're going to get to use our strips. And now FLidica is going to use hers. And I should have used Nhakwol S2 a turn earlier, because with that speed buff, she'd be further up in the CR bar. But it's fine, we managed to take our turn with Tori, which is the important thing. So we can just S1 and break the barrier. So now we are going to work on trying to get rid of that. So we can do 1, 2, and it looks like... So Nhakwol is going to go first. So we'll put it into stealth so that Nhakwol can break it with S3. And then for min-maxing damage, which you don't have to do, I'm going to start hitting Harsetti to get up to 7 hits if possible. Ideally, you hit it with Nhakwol and FLidica, just because Elena doesn't do that much damage. We're kind of running out of time though. FLidica will be able to get 2 more hits in, Nhakwol will be able to get 1. And then this would be the 4th, so we might as well just hit Harsetti here. Yep, so that's our 7 hits. It's not perfect, but I'm not really going to aim for the perfect run anyways. We're going to S3 here to give ourselves speed buff. And this speed buff is necessary for us to be fast enough to get the turn in time in the next phase. And I think this was at 1, so it's at 2 now. I'm going to reset that at some point, just to make sure that we have the full 3 hits starting off the break phase. And one thing is that when you hit that and you get the 3rd hit in, even in the non-break phase, the opportunity buff will still proc. So I'm going to try to make sure that Tori has that opportunity buff for as little as possible, because we actually don't really want her to be that slow. So maybe on the next one. Okay, so this timing looks okay, so I'm just going to S1 it now. We're going to put it into stealth. And now she loses the opportunity buff, so we're fine. So Harsetti's obviously going to cut Tori here, but it's fine because it's just her first turn. Going to S2 with Nhakwol here because I'm pretty sure this is good. FLidica is too fast, unfortunately, but at least 2 of our units are near the top of the CR bar. And we can S1 to break the barrier. So now we are going to let's do this. And then so we're actually going to just leave it for now, and we're just going to hit the boss of it. I'm only going to need to break the stealth once, so I'm going to Nhakwol S3 here just for damage onto Harsetti. And we'll let FLidica do the stealth breaking in a bit. Yep, because her S2 is up. So I'm going to use S3 here, just so that I don't have to hit the ad later in the main phase. Actually, I guess I probably shouldn't. Yeah, I shouldn't have done that, because Elena is going to hit Harsetti and I have to hit the ad instead, so I have to hit it again later anyways. So I should have just Elena S1 the ad, and then FLidica S1 into Harsetti. It's like 100k damage, doesn't really matter. Also, we didn't proc Cascade. Sucks. So we hit the ad once, and I'll just hit it a couple more times with Elena. So now we're at 2, and pretty sure Elena's going to just barely cut Tori, so we can just have Elena proc it. You could also have Tori proc it, to be honest. Actually, no, you can't. If Tori procs it, then she'll have it at the start of her next turn instead of losing it immediately. So we can just have Elena hit it here, and she pretty much immediately loses the buff. Elena cleanses the burn, and honestly we can just auto for a turn. Alright, let's S2. And do I need to S2 here? I think it's about the same as last time, where it's better for me to S2 there. And now we have to do the other. And we can again break the barrier. So let's take a look at our cooldowns. 2 turns, 1 turn on the AoE. That's 1. I think I'll set it up so that this is 2. And then this is 3. And I'm actually not sure if I messed that up or not. I'm pretty sure FLidica cuts here. Not 100% sure though, so just in case I'll do this. Since I'm not really min-maxing for damage, it's better to be safe more than anything else. And it looks like FLidica wouldn't have cut there anyway, so... yeah, good thing I hit the ad there with Nhakwol to get the CR push and get 10 crits in. This is the final hit. Good for 66.8 million, which is not a perfect run, of course, but this was just a quick walkthrough for the Tori version. So yep, 66.8 million. And we can see where that would have placed us in the current rankings, which I'm sure will change as it gets closer to the end of the rotation. And also, since Unequip just started, 66.8 million would place me right at 56. So it is hard for me to say. No, wait, was it 66.8? 58, sorry. Place me at 58. So it's hard for me to say, really, if it's possible to get top 100 of this rotation without Ice Adin. Definitely, Because some of these people here are only doing the first phase with Ice Adin and not the second one. So if you can push into like the 70 million area, which was, what did I have last time let me check. What did I have last time I did a run with Tori? I did 67 million. So honestly, about the same spot. What I had 66 million this time. So since there's some people with Ice Adin that are even lower than that, it's hard for me to say whether or not it would be possible to push into the top 100 without Tori. It might be doable, we'll have to see, but it'll definitely be good enough for top 5%. And hopefully this helps whoever doesn't have Ice Adin but still wanted to get a clean run in.